Hey guys, Griffin here, and today we're going to be talking about Revitalize, a Resto Druid spell, and how it's beneficial to both Resto Druids and your Ferals, Rogues, DKs, Warriors, pretty much everybody. But before we get started, please take the time, like, and subscribe. It really does help me out. Okay guys, if you are not a Resto Druid, you might not even know this spell exists, so I'll show it to you. Essentially what it's going to do is every time the Resto Druid puts a Wild Growth on someone, they have the chance of getting Energy, Rage, Runic Power and Mana, as well as Rejuve. So either one of those spells. So if you are in melee range, there's a good chance you'll have Wild Growth on you. And if you have a hardcore Resto Druid, there's a good chance they might run Rejuve on you and the Rogues and everyone else that has the most benefit. Yes, this also benefits your mages and everyone that uses mana, but not nearly as much as it does for your melee classes, specifically Rogues, Ferals, and Warriors, and DKs. Now, the reason I think this video needed to be made is because I've actually talked to Druids and they just don't heal the style that I'm used to. So when I've healed these in the past, in raids, the main focus for a Resto Druid is to just cast Wild Growth and keep Rejuve up on as many people as possible, preferably melee, for this benefit. Yes, obviously you're going to still want to use Swiftmend, you're still going to want to use your Nature Swiftness, but Wild Growth on cooldown is honestly the play. It's really good healing and it's going to benefit the DPS, which is really what you want. You want to hurry up and get the fight. Now if you are assigned to the main tank and that's your job, obviously that's your job and it's a different style. But for most healing, you are the raid healer and your job is just disperse this healing as much as possible. And honestly, if you do it this way towards the melee groups, you're going to benefit it the most because it's also increasing your damage. So if you are a melee and you're curious how often it procs, because maybe that's a question for both, like, okay, great, it gives me energy every once in a while. Well, how frequent is that? What I decided to do is get a Resto Druid to heal me, and we did some 5-man. So we did Azul Narab and Old Kingdom. I'm just going to do some quick clips of boss fights, though this is still beneficial on Trash as well. Every time you see the little 6 checkmark things on the screen, little things, and you hear that ding, that's me gaining energy from either Rejuve or Wild Growth. So just keep that in mind. We are on a very short boss fight. I've already had 4 procs. I'm obviously doing a lot decent DPS, and yeah, that extra energy really does let me get one more tick off, one more shred out, things like that. And keep in mind, that's just me. It's benefiting everyone in the group, so you're seeing more energy. And yes, I know I'm standing in the green like a troll, but I'm trying to guarantee that I get Wild Growth on me. But yes, absolutely amazing. I don't even know how many ticks that was, and the fight is over, but here's another one. This is in Old Kingdom. Same idea, just listen for the ticks. Just to give you an idea. Now I did do this in Raid as well. I do have some footage on there, so I do want to kind of let you watch this and just listen for the ticks and get an idea of how frequent this is. Hopefully for the Raid one I'll be able to speed it up. I think I picked not the Plaguebringer because I know the Druid's not doing anything, so I asked him to, hey, can you roll Rejuve on me? Now that's not always going to be the case, but Wild Growth is honestly enough as long as you can get the Wild Growth. We personally run, I think, 8 to 10 melee in our group, so on our raids, so it's not guaranteed to get Wild Growth. So I really like when I can get a Rejuve rolling so I can get the same benefit. It doesn't tick as often, but it still can tick and give you some energy. So that's why I have the sound on, in case you're wondering why I've got it playing in the background. It's so that noise, by the way, is me getting Unholy Frenzy, so it should proc even more in a raid environment. It'll almost guarantee, because Unholy Frenzy does damage to you, and that will cause the smart healing of Wild Growth to target you more likely than somebody else. The reason we're not killing this ad, by the way, is because we're going for the achievement. All you have to do is not kill the ad. That's the achievement. But as you can see, the procs just keep going. And in case you're wondering, do the procs still happen if you're full health? Yes, they do. So you can continue even if you've got full health. You're going to see me try to cheese this and just stand in this damage. Again, I trust our healer. I just really wanted to see how many procs I could get. And you can see that was quite a bit. Okay, so this is the raid right here. This is not the Plaguebringer, and you can see he's running Rejuve on me up in the top. But he also is doing Wild Growth, and I very, very rarely got it. That's likely due to the fact that there are just an absolute ton of people in the close area. And it's likely the Wild Growth is picking just any random 6 and not getting me. This is a pretty common stacky fight, so it's not surprising. But yeah, as you can see, I'm still getting the procs. I'm not getting it as frequently because of wild growth, but I think on this one in particular, I got 5 procs. Now that adds up to about 1 spell per on about 5 people. So 1 extra spell in the same amount of time for free is actually pretty nice, especially for your rogues, your warriors, your druids, things like that. And so I don't know what the actual DPS increase is. I've heard it's about 50 DPS increase over the length of the fight. It might be more. Either way, I just kind of want to get this video out and say, listen guys, if you are a Resto Druid not spamming Wild Growth and Rejuve on your melee, you probably should. It'll help out your DPS. And if you are a Feral or a Rogue or a Warrior and you're thinking, hey, is Revitalize even worth it? Should we even be bringing a Resto Druid? Hopefully this video at least gave you some insight into how great Revitalize actually is. And yes, there are times when you don't get procs. That's just the way of the world. But when you do get them, you can definitely feel it, and you just absolutely crush. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helps you out. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And as always, take care.